Hey gents, today we're going to talk about a very interesting parallel in a multi-billion-dollar fight to stay alive, which to me is better than watching sports. Both Netflix and Macy's are in very different stages of their lifespan. Macy's is one of the oldest retailers in the world, and it has been flat or in decline in revenues for the past decade or so. While Netflix, on the other hand, at the time of this recording, is continuing to grow every quarter, add customers, and expand their reach across the globe, and they are kind of a darling of the stock market right now. Both of them have extremely fierce competition, and they're both fighting for their lives, and the way that they are doing that is the same strategy. Today, we're going to dive into that. As we jump in here, make sure you subscribe to learn about the best menswear on the internet and give a thumbs up for these videos where I take a step back and look at the industry as a whole, because this is some of my favorite videos to work on. To set the stage for this, Macy's, or RH Macy's, is one of the oldest and the largest retailers in the entire world, founded in 1858. Over time, they have developed and expanded, but they really are one of the forerunners in the department store model, and for at least the past half century, their primary business model has been using their real estate and their traffic in order to let other brands sell into their space, and then they capture the margins as they sell products for these other brands. When you read about these new internet startups that are always talking about cutting out the middleman, they're essentially talking about Macy's and all of the other department stores, Belk, Nordstrom, and Kohl's, and all these other companies that bring in goods, sell it at a premium in order to capture the margin. Also keep in mind, a part of their business is private label, which is one of the ways that they are competing, but we'll get to that after a quick primer on Netflix. Netflix, you probably already know, you probably already pay for it, and you're probably gonna go watch it later on today. They have become a huge player in the media industry at a stunning pace. Netflix, of course, started as a DVD by mail company in 1997. They quickly became an internet darling, and then they slowly dismantled the empire that was once Blockbuster. And the CEO of Blockbuster was quoted in 2008, mind you, he said, "Neither Redbox nor Netflix are even on the radar screen in terms of competition. It's more Walmart and Apple." I found that on a really funny thread on a Redbox forum from 2008. It's funny to laugh at it now to think that that was a very naive and a troubling statement, but even in 2008, people pretty much knew. In 2007, Netflix had the crazy idea of streaming films over the internet. Now, they weren't the first one to do this, but they did become the most successful, and also they were working with the big Hollywood studios at the time, which made that part of it. They were able to offer a lot of film and television, like back catalog stuff. Rarely did they have new or first-run films, but that really set them off on a very fast trajectory of growth, even with all the password sharing that we do. There's also the time that Netflix tried to spin off the DVD business, but that's not really important to this discussion. Up until 2013, Netflix had essentially the Macy's model, where they were using their platform in order to distribute and stream films from other studios in Hollywood for television and film. That changed in 2013 when they started to do their own content, which included Hemlock Grove, Orange is the New Black, and House of Cards. I hope you can now see where this is converging with the Macy's and department store strategy. Private label brands in the context of a department store are a differentiator. Brands like Alfani, Martha Stewart, and others are exclusive to Macy's, so if you want their product, you have to shop there. Content like Ozark, Stranger Things, Mindhunter, Narcos, all of those Marvel series like Daredevil, and of course Bright, you can only get on Netflix, so you have to go to them. The same way that Game of Thrones and the Neistat brothers are the reason that you sign up for HBO every spring. And Macy's is being pretty transparent about this. In their earnings calls, they have stated that they want to go to at least 50% private label in the future, and that's a big increase. The reason behind it is they have to differentiate themselves and build a competitive moat against the likes of Amazon and other internet upstarts. A huge number of products that are available through Macy's are available on Amazon at the same price or less, and available from other online companies, which that's not a great way to compete if you're Macy's. And you can see this on the Netflix side as well. They're spending a whopping $8 billion in 2018 on original content. It's rumored that they're going to have about 700 new shows and films just this year, and they've increased their budget $1 billion every year. They're truly hedging their bets for when studios finally realize that Netflix is pulling an Apple on them, like Apple did with the music industry in the early 2000s. There's also the Amazon entry into the space, who's competing with Netflix, which is why they're spending so much money, but that's a little bit of a different topic. But Netflix is obviously seeing an ROI from this. They're increasing their spend rate on new content proportionate to the rate of their subscriber growth, and they're also catering really well to international audiences with specific shows by region and language. I love this graphic here that shows the availability of Netflix across the world. They're basically available everywhere except for North Korea, Crimea, and China. They're also winning prestigious film and television awards, so they're establishing themselves as a real outlet to think about if you're in the Hollywood system. There's so much to talk about here, but I want to stay on topic for this video. So both companies built their businesses leveraging a platform, which for Netflix, it's the technology platform and the audience, and then for Macy's, it's the real estate and the audience that comes through on the foot traffic. Both companies are now heavily investing in their own content and their own products in order to build a competitive moat so that their customers have to come to them for specific things, because now in this new internet distributed model, their old business models don't exactly make sense, so they're both shifting at the same time but there's big outcome differences for each of the companies. Because in this new world, brands that Macy's built their business on, like Levi's, Hugo Boss, Ralph Lauren, all those companies you can buy at Macy's, those brands can now own the customer relationship directly and they don't need Macy's anymore. And the same thing goes for Netflix. Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, they can all build their own subscription models, which they have. If you look at CBS All Access, the rumored Disney thing that's coming, and don't even mention the Fox and Disney combination, which is going to make them, Disney is going to be the biggest competitor to Netflix very soon, and then Amazon's going to be over here. It's a crazy, crazy time right now for this. So there you have it, gents. That is the shared strategy that two giant multi-billion-dollar companies are using to stay alive in this new internet age, and it is fascinating to watch. So if you have any questions about it or comments, I'd love to hear from you guys down below on if I'm right or wrong, or what you think about the Disney Netflix deal. We can talk about the Starz deal, which essentially propelled Netflix into having all these great movie deals. Whatever you want, love to hear from you down there. And you can reach out at @_Kavalier on Twitter and Instagram. That's where I do a little bit behind the scenes stuff, and you can connect with me a little bit better directly there. The comments are really tough in these things. So if you have any suggestions for future Wednesday topics, I like to put these out on Wednesdays where I look at the industry as a whole. So let me know down there as well. And until next time, gents, this is the Kavalier.